Welcome to Health Oddity, the show that strips away the jargon and hype surrounding all things health and fitness to help you live a long, strong and energetic life. Lining up at the bar this week, here's Peter Lant and James St. Pierre.
Hello and welcome to the Health Oddity podcast, episode 276. And if you're listening on the day of release or near to the day of release, it is the 12th of December. So we are in festive mode here in the UK, and I'm sure we are in festive mode as well in Prague, where our guest is joining us from. I'm going to touch base with Mr. Peter Lant because he's in Bath, Somerset, and I think you have Christmas markets in Bath as well, don't you?
Oh yes. It actually, this on the day of recording, it started today.
Okay.
So I took Sid out for a walk, and I walked through town because it's the first day and it's already too busy. So we'll be avoiding that over the next couple of weeks. Because where I live right next to the park, and what they do is they close the road off in the park, so buses that are bringing people in, as in coaches from different areas, because it's nationally advertised. They close that road off because that's where the drop-off point is, which is I haven't got a car, so it doesn't matter. But parking around here is a nightmare anyway. So then they close that road, they come through. They've put all these low traffic neighborhood places in, so everything has to go a certain direction. It's all one way. So basically, I went to a business breakfast this morning, and loads of people were late because they've been stuck in traffic for half an hour trying to get there. and Sean going to work and coming back, she now has to do like a massive detour, like to get round the city to get to where we live.
Well, it's nice that you walk everywhere, isn't it?
Exactly. So this is, again, that's a good advertisement.
Yeah, it's healthy. It's better for you, better for everything.
We've been out for just over 2 hours and done about 7 miles a day. So I'm well happy.
Excellent. Now we are joined. I'm just going to go back to tell you that we are joined by Pavel Macek, joining us from Prague in the Czech Republic. How are you doing, Pavel? You okay?
I'm doing fabulous. Great to see you, gentlemen, again online. Miss you guys. It's been too long. We saw each other. Hopefully, we'll see each other very soon.
We will do. So just as if you're watching online, if you're watching on YouTube, you can see that Pavel is sat with a really lovely bookshelves behind him and all round him. Look, this is in his house. You will remember, well, if you haven't listened, I'll tell you now. Pavel was back on with us last time, episode 234 and 235. We did a double episode that came out back in February. So that was about 10 months ago. And since then, Pavel was over in the UK. He was over at Unique Results in Chelmsford at my gym doing his Enter the Dumbbell workshop, which was a really, really great day we did with Pavel, and the 2-day Strongfirst SFB bodyweight certification. And next year, Pavel is going to be back over again in March. So we're going to be kind of talking a bit about what he's going to be covering when he comes in March. Also, he has his Enter the Dumbbell coming out as an online course, which we're going to talk about as well. And we've got, we've got a half-day workshop, I think, in March, and then a 2-day Strongfirst course. But we're going to talk about lots of stuff. And as I said, just before we started recording, I went on just to check a few dates on Pavel's Instagram, and I love it. On his bio, if you like, it says strength, combatives, stoicism, tea, cats. That's kind of, he is an expert in all of those things.
That's about it. A couple of things are missing: meditation and Lost TV show, the best TV show of all times.
I have still not watched Lost, and we talked about Lost last time. And you're drinking tea at the moment as we record, which is great. So brilliant. Lost is something. Yeah, I mean, it must still be. I must be able to watch it on Netflix or Amazon or one of these streaming services, I'm sure. So the best TV series of all time.
It's only if you can find it.
So, Pavel, what have you been up to since we spoke to you last? And you know, how is December or Christmas time in Prague?
Mm-hmm. usual stuff, drinking tea, reading, lifting, teaching, both strength training and martial arts. I teach Chinese martial arts and MMA, developing many projects. I never have a writer's block, so I have multiple projects in works. Some of them I may even finish it. It seems so that one of my big projects, more than 10 years in works, will be finished very soon. Traveling a lot. I know I always say that I truly love my job. Whenever I'm lifting kettlebells or barbells, dumbbells, doing bodyweight stuff, martial arts, I'm always very grateful for the opportunity to train myself and to be able to share it. And I'm looking forward a lot to come back again to UK and specifically to your gym, James, because I was very impressed. This is such a great facility. I just opened the door and I felt like home. And of course, I like your Marvel / DC type of branding. I heard that you have a new superhero on the picture there with a signature, right?
I was going to say there's actually 2 pictures of you on the wall now as well that are signed, which you did last time when you were with
without
us.
my usual Batman mask, right?
Yes.
Just the billionaire face. Right?
So you'll see that, yeah, when you come back, you'll see yourself up on the
You are
wall
too
as
kind.
well,
You are
which will
too
be
kind.
good. Yeah, excellent. So yeah, so you've been very busy, and I think so we did enter the dumbbell with you back in May, which, like I say, I thought it was a fantastic workshop with you. And now that is, I mean, I think about now, this, like I say, the podcast is out on the 12th of December. So around about now, mid-December, the online course should be dropping or should be released. Is that right?
That's right. If you are interested in hardstyle dumbbell lifting, anybody who listens or watches the podcast, please check out strongfirst.com. Series of articles explaining basically my journey to hardstyle dumbbell lifting. Some free instructional videos, so you have a taste of what I'm teaching, and of course the new course called Enter the Dumbbell, tribute of course to the legendary Enter the Kettlebell by our dear teacher Pavel Macek. So this is something that I've been working on probably more than 10 years. I believe I started around 2015, 2016, taught many private workshops, taught a bigger workshop, closed workshop in France years ago, taught workshops in my country. Of course, I've been lifting dumbbells for many years, went through a couple of test cycles of the program, and I'm really excited that finally the Enter the Dumbbell online course is coming up and will be released. It's almost 200 minutes of instructional manual. Of course, Strongfirst quality, which means principle-based, minimalistic program about 3 main lifts are covered. You remember from the workshop, dumbbell clean and its variations, such as muscle, power, and split. Same thing for dumbbell swing, dumbbell press. People would think, oh, it's same as the kettlebells or different as the kettlebells. Same but different. There are many similarities, of course, but there are many key differences that allow you to lift safely and heavy. And I have to say, I really like the dumbbell lifting. The program covers about 7 different programs. Some of them are more freestyle. You can use them when traveling. Some programs you can put together your kettlebell lifting and dumbbell lifting. Another program, all 3 big bells, dumbbells, kettlebells, barbells, and then basically rite of passage equivalent of Enter the Kettlebell. So in Enter the Dumbbell, it's called linking the chain. So long-term program that will allow you to meet the challenge. We like the standards and like the challenges. So looking forward to it.
Excellent. No, that's fantastic. And there were so many little nuances that you taught. I remember that I've been doing myself and teaching other people where, you know, when you kind of are pressing the dumbbell, if you have the hand slightly nearer the front of the dumbbell and tilt it back, it kind of moves it up nicely, and all these lovely things that we did on the day, which were great. And it was a really packed room, and we paired up, and no, everyone loved it. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing the online. And I take it that there's all the instructional videos are probably really well produced, and yeah, looks lovely. Like I say, everything Strongfirst does is really polished, isn't it? So
Yeah, we have a great team here. So if you saw some of the previous courses that we released, of course, Pavel's famous Simple and Sinister, Speed Metal with Derek Tochner. This was done in our gym. So it's Sin City, noir quality. And I think it came up really, really well.
excellent, excellent. Now, when you obviously you're going to have Christmas there, and the New Year and things, and then in March next year you're coming back over, and kind of what I wanted to talk about was that there's certain buzzwords that you get around the fitness industry, or health in general, and a word that's kind of thrown around a lot recently I'd say in the last 3 to 5 years is resilience and resilient, and the importance of being resilient, and you've got the people like, say, David Goggins doing these ultra marathons and things, and it's used in terms of resilience, mental resilience, obviously, and obviously we may touch on Stoicism again today, which you're very big into, but also physical resilience and the ability to, well, let's talk about it really. You can tell me, what is resilience to you? What does the word mean, and what does it mean to you, and how do we develop resilience?
Mhm. It's a very comprehensive topic, then that could be simplified a lot, right? So the resilience covers many, many aspects, the mental resilience and the physical resilience. But the specific protocols to develop it are actually very simple. So I'll step back a little bit to the mental resilience first, and then we'll take it to the physical resilience. Possibly for many people, it's easier to start with the physical resilience, with a regular exercise, lifting. That's what we do at Strongfirst, kettlebell lifting, barbell lifting, dumbbell lifting, soon body weight training, any type of strength training. I'm also a huge fan of combat arts since I was a kid. So I think to develop functional combat skills and also martial arts ethics, it's very valuable in today's life. So join a traditional martial arts gym or MMA, which in my opinion, amateur MMA is the best thing that happened to combat world in years, and this will teach you something about discipline and about resilience. As for the mental resilience, I truly think that we are sorely missing in today's world the we can call it yin aspect, right? The Chinese philosophy, yin and yang. So yang is combat arts and lifting heavy bells and cold exposure and breath holds and so on, right? I think we are missing the yin aspect, which is the exactly opposite. And I'm nice.
Which is in that the Tao Te Ching.
Love
That's
it.
that's it, isn't it?
Like the calligraphy, exactly. And practical Tao Te Ching, right? Which is some kind of mindfulness, some kind of meditation. I tried since basically I was a kid when I read my first book about Zen Buddhism. When I was about 14 years old, I tried the sitting meditation, and of course I failed, right? The monkey mind, the wild horse running, but finally, there was probably the right time. I got into the meditation. I struggled a lot in the beginning. As I mentioned in the beginning, I have lots of projects, so I'm reading something, watching something, doing something. I'm very active, right? And just sit and to do nothing was very, very difficult for me and very painful. I could honestly feel like my brain is splitting. But guess what? It got better. And what it helped is to calm down and basically create the space where I can observe things happening as they are happening, including the hard stuff. So let's say cold exposure. Just today in the morning, I took it's pretty cold in Prague right now, so I took my morning bath, ice in the bath, sitting in the cold tub. So it's not comfortable, right? You get in there and you got the shock, but then you calm down and you just you just feel the cold. You don't add anything to it, like, oh, poor me, it's so cold. I may get cold and sick, and how much longer? No, you just feel it. And it might be cold, it might be hot, it might be any type of strain, let's say, when lifting. So the meditation helped me to observe things as they are without adding anything negative to it or positive, just observing and just doing, just being. So I think for developing the mental resilience, this is one of the best things that you can do. Just sit, do nothing, and observe things as they are, right? So that's for
This is so interesting because I know that I mean, from a personal perspective, I've had quite a lot of ups and downs within business lately, and if you want to call it stress or whatever, whatever, things happen. And it's so easy to, or it's natural to, I think, when these things happen, to jump to a conclusion, to panic, or to get over him, to let the emotion kind of overcome you with something. But I love the way you just said, you just observe what's happening, and there, I can't remember, it's probably from some other type of philosophy or something, but there's this idea of, there's no good news, there's no bad news, there's just news, and how you interpret it, or whatever you want to, the meaning you want to put onto something. And yeah, so this is brilliant, and it's making me think already. So we've only been speaking for about 15 minutes, but you have this impact, I think, or you have this way of explaining things. But it's so, is it a natural thing for humans, do you think, to over emote, if you like, and be over emotional? And is this way of meditation or stoicism a forced thing to control that, or is the
Mhm.
stoicism
That's
and
the
the thing
thing.
more
It's
natural?
not.
What's the
That's the thing, that the key is not the control, right? That's what was really hard for me, because of course there are many system and methods of meditation, but truly the oldest one is just observing, right? You start with observing your breath, but me being used to various breathing exercises, it was difficult not to change anything. No, you just breathe and you just observe. We like to be in control, but how much are we in control truly? There might be financial crisis, right? You may be saving your whole life, working hard, but there is financial crisis. It's completely out of your control, right? You may get sick even if you are living a healthy lifestyle. We had the COVID epidemics years ago, right? So out of the blue, stuff just happens and it's out of our control. It doesn't mean that we are passive, right? We take care of our health, we take care of our finances, but still things might happen. So it's not about control, it's about just accepting the things that are out of our control the way they are, and then we have a freedom to do something about it. Because once we are, oh, bad stuff is happening, and then we start to add stories to it, and instead of focusing on solutions, we focus on the pain that we feel. Oh, poor me, and somebody is doing that on purpose, and to me specifically, right? And it might be the case, it might be not the case, but what's in our control? What we do. We can't control how the world spins, what other people do. We can control them to some to a bit, but not too much, not completely. So it's better to focus on what we can do and what it's absolutely under our control. It's our reaction to the stuff that it's happening. Often it's quoted as a Stephen Covey quote, but it's not a Covey, and it's not Viktor Frankl either. He said, between the event and reaction, there is a space. And in that space, you are free. And then you can react. We can apply it to, let's say, family, right? Somebody says something, does something, and we want to react immediately because we feel hurt. But if what the meditation and mindfulness teaches you is to take a step back, observe the space, observe, let's say, the anger that's rising up, and then ask yourself, is this a person that I want to be? This kind of person, being angry and, snap at somebody. No, this is not the type of person I want to be. So you can take a step back, take a couple of breaths, and react differently. Of course, from the evolutionary perspective, it was almost constant fight or flight, right? So we were really struggling. So of course, these are all evolutionary mechanisms, self-protective, that have their value, right? But I'm sitting in this nice library, you in your school, in your studio, right? There are no foreign tribes hunting us down. Fortunately, in this part of Europe, there are no bombs falling on the buildings, no epidemics, right? So we are doing right, but still there is so much suffering in our lives from the perspective of war or through pandemics. We are doing great, and we suffer for no reason, and we keep constantly producing the suffering, right? So that's how I see it. And what's interesting, and I can't still figure it out. Once you start sitting on a daily basis, and it can be as simple as 10 minutes a day, this stuff just starts to happen automatically without you even trying. So it will rewire your brain, both from the functional perspective and from the structural perspective. So you'll be calmer, you will develop that space in which you can react, and it will improve your quality of your life, because it's not about being just tough and resilient, but it's about enjoying the life. So you will notice small stuff in your life, mini happiness that you didn't notice before, right? So snow is falling. Wow, it's so beautiful. Oh, little kid is laughing. Oh, it's so beautiful. Flowers are blooming. Birds are singing, enjoying time with your family, with your friends, enjoying your free time. So these are some very small things that we don't tend to appreciate and enjoy. And this will basically sharpen our blunt sense of enjoying these minor things. And if you have 1,000 small happiness throughout the day, it's pretty good day, right?
I love this. My head's going mad now with all the things I'm thinking about when you've said that, because you make me think of wherever I read it about the ultimate human arrogance is thinking we can control anything, because nature's in charge, isn't it? Like we can, like you said, we can control a few things, and we think we've got control over lots of things, but it's
we think we are the center of universe, and the universe revolves around us, right?
Exactly. But the other thing you also reminded me of is it's chapter 11 in the Tao, actually, because I'm going through the Tao again at the minute, chapter by chapter, day by day. And then every now, as you go into it, it gets a bit more in depth. So I spend like a few days on a chapter. But what I try and do is read the chapter and then read a synopsis on it, get some understand how I can apply it to modern day life, because obviously it's like 3,500 years old or whatever. But then I'll take it into my day and think, right, how does that come into my day? And I've been doing a lot of stuff on leadership with it as well, about not being the leader who forces things, being the leader who allows things to happen. And then when you need to step in, you step in, but you allow things to breathe, and they might sort themselves out. But Eventually, you might have to do something. Other times, you don't have to do anything.
Taoists, they call it non-doing, right?
Exactly.
Doing by non-doing, which means
Exactly.
not trying to control everything. I saw the picture of a guy trying to nail the waves that are coming to the shore.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. But chapter 11, so this made me think of the yin side of it, is, and I remember I did a video about it on Facebook when I got to chapter 11, which was a couple of weeks ago. But it's about how, like, any vessel you have, or if you have a vessel or a room or whatever, it's the space within it.
Yes.
That is the useful bit. You've got a bowl. I've got a bowl here. You've got a bowl. But the actual thing that the bowl is made of isn't the useful bit. It's the bit with it because you put things in it.
Yes.
And that's the space you're talking about. And if you haven't got that in your life or in your head or whatever, you're permanently, it's just not useful. A bowl that is full of something isn't useful, is it? If you can't put anything in it, you need another one. So
that's the potential, right?
Yeah.
And this is what's really interesting. Once you get into the meditation, you will start to truly understand it and feel it, because this is one of the exercises, right? When I'm sitting in the room and I'm focusing on the books here, tea here, computer here, but I don't see the space, and the space goes beyond that room and beyond the building, beyond the city, beyond the planet, right? So it's it's basically one of the fundamental exercises in meditation, in Zen Buddhism, or in Advaita Vedanta. I just discovered the Hindu tradition of non-dual mindfulness, Advaita Vedanta, and I enjoy it very much. It opened up the space.
This is great. I think one thing that you said, Pete, I think it may have been last week or the week before, but you said about how in your life, we were talking a little bit about it, and you said how you try not to, you don't want your life to be too full because you need gaps and you need space in your life, so that then if something comes up that you need to do, you've got room to do it. And I think that recently I've really tried to kind of take that and I'm generally a very busy person with and I try and cram as much as possible into like my days and my weeks. But by actually giving myself a few days a week where I've not got things in there, it then allows me to sit and be quiet and to actually have ideas come into my head or work out problems, or and when you're trying to be not trying to be busy all the time, when you are busy all the time, you don't ever really get any reflection time, do you, or contemplation time. And I think from what Pavel said, that sort of 10-15 minutes of quietness with your tea and just sitting there is this is great. This is lovely. Hopefully some people are listening to this and reflecting. 'Cause there's a lot of busy people in the world at the moment, isn't there? Everyone's rushing and trying to fit as much in as possible and trying to be as productive as possible all the time. But
one of my friends, he says, if you go fast by a car, you don't see the flower. So you may get from point A to B really fast, but then you don't enjoy the view. So they think that they save time, but actually they waste it, because they get faster from point A to B, they don't see anything, and then cram lots of other stuff into it. If I may take the space analogy to our strength training, we are all strength coaches, right? If you want to press a heavy kettlebell, of course, you need to get a good rack, a tight band, great grip, and so on. But you also need to have space, long collarbone, right? You still need to move, right? I like to joke that I'm an extremist. I like to focus on the extremes and on the alternation of those extremes. Relaxation, doing nothing, and then action, lifting heavy kettlebells, dumbbells, barbells, doing combative stuff. And then it's about the interplay. So even transfer from the yin perspective of these meditation exercises. We know that in the East and also in the West, the meditation practice was always a part of the warriors class, right? Because it helps you to focus and see the opening, but it helps you to see all the context. Let's say multiple enemies attack coming from a different angle, or in the battle. Pete has mentioned that he's applying the Tao Te Ching to the leadership, right? We can apply it to our own life, to running a company, or running a country, because originally it was basically one of the uses was a manual for a country leader, right? So we can apply these skills, the yin, soft, mindfulness, awareness to the hard skills such as lifting heavy belts or fighting.
It's really interesting because I know obviously you read a lot. You're probably sitting on some books as well, aren't you? You haven't got a chair. It's just like a book. But what's been really interesting for me is and I only started doing it 3 months ago or whatever. I was talking to somebody about it and I was like, because I'm not like meditation. I have done it before, but I'm not very good at it. Put it that way. And like journaling and all these things that people talk about, and I'm like, for some reason, it doesn't. When I try to do it, I can't. It doesn't seem to work for me, and it maybe it's because I haven't done it enough and I haven't applied it enough, and I need to do it. But it seems forced, and it doesn't feel right. But just sit and reading a chapter of that or anything, like any philosophy, anything that fits with me, like the Bhagavad Gita, I like that as well because it's a good story.
Oh, I love
and I really like it. It's just a really nice. It's a nice story, and it makes you think about going.
And it's a combat field. It's in a war field, and you get the lecture how to live your life, right?
Exactly. So, and it makes you stop and think, because that whole book is stopping and thinking, isn't it? It's like, let's have a conversation before we go into battle. So, for me, that is what I like to do every morning. And get up first and like, right, I'm going into battle on the day, but what I'm going to do is create some space now and then take it with me. And then you tend to it's like everyone gets angry and everyone gets upset and all of that sort of stuff. But it kind of instead of having the opposites, it kind of levels it out. And you just see it builds resilience. It's funny because it builds resilience by like you say, the yin activity. So the more kind of softer side builds. Is it a better way to build resilience? Not a better way.
I'll give you a tip. I'll give you a meditation tip, Pete, right? So I like what you are doing. I am doing exactly the same thing. I have various books with small passages, just like in Tao Te Ching. You have one chapter, it's about this long, right? I like Seneca's letters, I like Bhagavad Gita. There are many, many similar books like that. So what I like to do is just to read that part, let it soak in, contemplate a little bit, and then come to it during the day, right? So it's something that it's like if you are soaking a white color shirt in some other color, so it gets soaked into that color. So I read it in the morning, contemplate a little bit, I come to that during the day. And as for the meditation, I'll give you a meditation that you can do. Anybody can do it anytime throughout the day. Just do a one mindful breath. So whatever you do, you just stop and you just breathe in and breathe out. And you don't want to miss anything. You want to feel the air going through the nostrils. You want to feel it go into your body and go out warmer. And that's it. And then you just keep going about your day. You may have seen there's a movie by Jet Li. I can't remember the name, but he was a fighter. Then he lost. He went to some village as a recluse, and he was working on the field. And every now and then, they just stop and then just was just pure being, just felt, just one breath, breathe in, breathe out, and then go about your day. And the meditation is just many of these breaths string together. You constantly start again, and there is a way how to sharpen it. So that's why in meditation they usually is divided into two stages. First is called samatha, concentration, and the other vipassana, which is like awareness, mindfulness, right? But you first need to sharpen the tool through concentration on breathing, but like I said before, not controlling it, just observing, right? And it's really it's like a strength training. It's really like a strength training.
I think I already do that. Like if I feel something coming up, I'll just take a deep breath. It's funny as you say. I've seen it before about like I've got a dog, so about dogs, and people are like, "Oh, my dog's just done a massive big sigh," and it's like, "What's he got to worry about? He's got nothing to worry about." You know what I mean? He's got an easy life. But like he does it all the time. Every now and then, I'll just be like,
Yeah.
like that, and it's like it's probably just it just relaxes
Yeah.
it, and then he goes to sleep.
Yeah.
So yeah.
The answer is in the nature as well. Next time, James, I come, I'll teach a short meditation workshop for you.
Brilliant. Yeah, no, that would be fantastic. Okay. So
We'll start doing the podcast, and James will have this like this aura around.
no, this is great. So strong first resilient. Is that something, were you integral, or did you put that together yourself? Was that your kind of baby, if you like, that you kind of created, and this was one of these projects that you started, and you kind of conceived of it, and you fleshed it out, and you created it and everything else? So when, first of all, kind of what was the genesis of it? Why did you think it was needed, or what was the how did it come to you, the idea, and then how did you realize it was something that you wanted to pursue?
Strong First Resilient is truly Strong First Resilient by Pavel, right? By two Pavels, my teacher, Pavel Caculin, and myself, his student. Of course, I was a Strong First Certified Instructor, lifted kettlebells, barbells, doing bodyweight stuff, and I was rereading some of old Pavel's books, especially Beyond Bodybuilding, and I've noticed that Pavel covers a specific type of exercises which are not very common in today's strength conditioning or fitness, like a hack squat, right, where your knees go way over the toes, and there is still this myth in popular fitness that you shouldn't go below 90 and the knees should never go in front of your toes, right? But there were other exercises. So hack squat was one of them. Some hanging exercises, back bridge, Jefferson curl, right? Tommy Connor's loosening deadlift, as it was called back in the old days. So something that's not the strongest position. Of course, we know that to deadlift a heavy weight with a flat back is way better than with a round back. But still, if you are, let's say, a combat athlete like myself, you play soccer, American football, or you just walk in the mountains, you will end up in some of the not perfect and not strongest, mechanically strongest position, you like it or not. So it's better to visit them in your training before it happens and get a little bit stronger in that position. Hockey deadlift, right? It's not only bending the spine, but also it's flexion and torsion, right? But if you play hockey, if you are an MMA fighter and your double leg takedown doesn't go the way you like to, or you just need to lift an odd weight, right? Or your regular deadlift goes out of a groove a little bit, you need to be strong in the neighboring angles. So I started to take notes of the exercises that Pavel was teaching and mentioning. Of course, years ago, he also published a DVD called Resilient with this type of exercises. And I developed a 5-hour workshop for my school. And on one of the leadership meetings, I was talking with Pavel about it. And Pavel T, he said, "Oh, that sounds interesting. I'm happy that the stuff is useful and that you are using it. What's your experience?" I told him my own experience, my students as well. And he said, "You know what? Prepare an English version and we'll see about the workshop." So I was working on it, then forgot about it. I had other projects, but a couple of months later, Pavel sent me an email. "So how is that project, Resilient project going?" Right? And I said, oh, okay. I came back to my notes. I have lots of notes, put it together in basically 0.1 version of the manual. And Pavel liked it very much. So he said, okay, that would be a cool special workshop for Strong First. Please finish the project. So I wrote the manual. I basically took the stuff that Pavel was teaching in the past, and I organized it in a step-by-step manner. So you do this, then this, then this, how to progress safely, doing the stuff wrong with a purpose, right? With your round back or elevated shoulder, and so on and so forth. This is, by the way, also the very first Strongfirst manual that comes up with the pictures. Not only the ugly me, but also my beautiful wife, Justina. She is on the pictures, and she took the pictures as well. Strongfirst team leader, and she will come with me to teach in UK resilience. So that would be, it's a teamwork, right? So I put together more than 100 pages manual, taught the first event in Italy, and it was one of the reasons, I believe, why I was promoted to master, developing a new product for Strongfirst. Since that time, I taught multiple events, both in Europe, also in US. That was a funny one. I taught in Los Angeles, and Pavel was actually assistant on my workshop. So me teaching his material, and Pavel not only watching and giving me feedback, constructive criticism, but also assisting. So I thought, how awesome is that, right? I wasn't nervous at all, of course, but he's very kind. And for the specific event in UK, I'll cover the curriculum. So of course we are building on the top of the skills that the kettlebell lifters already know. So if you know how to do a get up, a goblet squat, deadlift and swing, preferably around, let's say, simple standard, then you are ready for the Strongfirst Resilient curriculum. We revisit the Strongfirst armbar and bent armbar, and progress to resilient armbar, where we will work with the shoulder and shoulder blades, so elevation, depression, protraction, retraction, rotation, presses, right? Regular armbar, bent armbar, so-called bretzel armbar that I developed for the curriculum, and progress to the resilient get-up. Again, review of the regular get-up, but then again applying various movements with the straight arm, with the non-lifting arm, variations of the get-ups. One of the all-time favorites is so-called SOS get-up, skill of strength get-up, developed by my colleague Mike Perry, Strongfirst senior from US. People just love it. And I have a couple of updates. I'll teach something that I call strongman get-up, or a vaudeville get-up. It's a variation that was very popular back in the old days by the all-time strongmen, something you don't see very often, and this will be the second occasion that I'll actually teach it in UK. Get up is mainly straight arm, right? So straight arm press. So we'll have straight arm hang. We'll revisit the hanging hollow position, but then again, active hang, passive hang, one arm, and progress to inverted skills all the way to German hang and skin the cat. Very, very useful for your shoulder hair, spine health, and of course various forms of spinal decompression, which is advised to do after any type of lifting. Then we have goblet squat, again foundation. Progress to body weight deep knee bend, where the knees go over the toes. Exercise that was considered by the famous Russian lion George Hackenschmidt one of the best leg strength building exercise. And we'll progress to super strict hex squat, where the kettlebell lifters will find out that even with a light belt, they can get pretty good strength training session for their legs. Because if you can do, sets of 5 with 32 kilo kettlebell, strict face the wall hex squats, you are strong. So that's a hex squat. Deadlift, we will work on the so-called hacky deadlift, flexion and rotation, and Jefferson curl, which was popularized by Tim Ferriss and his coach, Coach Sommer. I'm a huge fan of his work. And again, very beneficial drill if you do it correctly with the right progression. So I'll teach a step-by-step progression to a safe Jefferson curl. Gymnastic back bridge, strength training exercises, and I have made a couple of other updates. I'm a fan of so-called ATG split squat. Very beneficial exercise, and I threw in my favorite Hindu push-ups, Hindu squats as well. So that's the practice, and then we have theory, stuff like breathing, fasting, cold exposure, sauna, the other important stuff that will help you to develop both mental and physical resilience.
That sounds fantastic. You mentioned George Hackenschmidt there. I'm just started reading his book from,
It's awesome.
I think it's about 1908 or something, I want to say.
Yes,
It's
1907, 1908, The Way to Live. And
The Way to Live.
I mean, yeah, if you compare the book with most of the stuff that came out lately, right? It's everything in there. So you have the general intro, you have the cold exposure. That's how Dr. Krajewski started his practice. Cold bath, joint mobility exercises, lifting. You have dumbbells, kettlebells, barbells. By the way, Hackenschmidt starts to teach the heavy weightlifting with dumbbells. So dumbbell swing, dumbbell snatch, dumbbell clean and press, and bench press. You have light body weight mobility exercise. It's so good, so good.
I couldn't believe I was reading it. Sorry, Pete, I was reading it, and I was thinking this was written like 110, 115 years ago, and you just thought it's so. The way he writes, because he talks about the problems of the modern world,
I would say
written in 1908 or whatever it was, and it's exactly the same as it is now. It was really.
I've got a tip for you, for anybody here. You can make millions. Read a book that's over 40 years old and then rewrite it in your own words, and everyone will think you're a genius. That's basically what happens. So when people say, that's all been said before. If you read any like Napoleon Hill, or I was listening to Alan Watts the other week. I listen to him all the time, but he was talking about, he died in 1973, right? So he must have been talking in the 60s, and he was talking about TV and how there's like too many channels and we've got an overload of information in the 60s. You know what I mean? It's like technology and all of that sort of stuff. So it's the same thing, just on a different level.
Yeah. If you read Seneca, which is almost 2,000 years old, his letters, the same problems. The human nature is exactly the same.
Yeah. So anyway, I think this was because I got a book recommended to me by, I can't remember what it was, but it was like a somatic type thing. And I think I Googled it and somebody said, don't read that, read this one. And it was from like the 70s. And it's basically the same book. Somebody's just rewritten it. The modern word. Honestly.
If you want to learn something new, read an old book, right?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
So, Pavel, would you say then, for the Strongfirst Resilient, which are just for people listening, is on Saturday and Sunday, the 21st and the 22nd of March next year, is it wise? I mean, because you're teaching these kind of movements and positions that are they're intentionally not in your strongest range of motion or your strongest plane. You're kind of teasing with this. I suppose it's almost this controlled dose of poison and gradually strengthening.
Exactly.
Yeah. Is it wise to? I mean, would this course be something that anybody could come to, or would you suggest that someone has already they've already worked on the strengthened positions? Like you say, they know how to swing, they know how to squat, they know how to do a get up. There's some body awareness there, doing things right.
What I would suggest is the minimum, which is goblet squat. So be able to squat, deadlift, kettlebell deadlift. I don't need the swing, but the deadlift. So be able to lift heavy weights, not necessarily heavy, but weights off the floor with a straight back, right? And the get up. So if you have these, the squat, the deadlift, and the get up, then you are very welcome to come to the workshop. You don't have to worry that you will get injured. So if your max is, let's say, twice your body weight, the deadlift, you will grab probably 16 kilo kettlebell for most of the drills. So, for example, right now I'm working on so-called imperial snatch and bench press. We may talk about it later because this is the workshop that I'll teach the day before, resilient. So I'm doing snatches up to 40 kilos. And then bench presses up to 48 kilos. But for my Strongfirst resilient drills, I use only 16 kilo bell. So it's I think it's very complementary to the our regular curriculum, because what we usually do in strength training, we have, let's say, 3 big lifts and we are looking for some numbers, right? Improvement, we want to improve our one rep max, let's say, in the deadlift or bench press, or accomplish a simple standard with the kettlebell, rite of passage lift, half body weight, and so on and so forth. So it's usually 3 times a week, let's say, 2 to 3 lifts. Resilient is, compared to that, is light bell, many drills, and very enjoyable freestyle session that I like to do, pardon me, on variety days, right? So let's say I lift Monday, Wednesday, Friday, heavy, and then at my classes Tuesday and Thursday I just grab a light 16 kilo bell, and I do a couple of arm bars and a couple of resilient get ups, alternate with hanging, a couple of hex squats. It might be 1 set of 5, 3 sets of 5, something like that. So wide variety of drills that keeps me interested, helps me to recover between my heavy sessions, helps me to plug in the holes in the armor, right? Some angles that are not visited by my main strength training program, and it has an excellent transfer, let's say, to my main sport, the combat arts. It keeps me both interested and healthy.
So would you say then that resilient or Strongfirst resilient and building resilience is part of it is avoiding injury? Is that part of it? Is that part of the reason why you would be training these
Dr. Melsiv and Vekrushansky, they call it injury prevention by imperfection training. Right? But it's mindful imperfection training. So there is a difference between doing a deadlift with bent back and getting injured, and between doing, let's say, partial J curls, when you go the spinal wave vertebrae by vertebrae, mindfully spreading the load. So yes, injury prevention by imperfection training, but the improper angles have to be done right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the way I've heard this is any position you can get your body into and it can move in can be loaded.
Yes.
It's just got to be appropriate.
Yes. The load needs to be appropriate. Exactly.
Yeah. So you're never going to, like, when you see people doing a max deadlift with a rounded back who aren't athletes in the gym, you're like, yeah, you might want to step back a bit on that. But if you're doing a lightweight and you've got a rounded back and you're doing it under control and it's appropriate, it's actually building more strength.
Yeah, just this obvious example, right? The Jefferson curl compared to deadlift, right? When Coach Sommer was talking about J curl on the Tim Ferriss podcast, many people went the next day to the gym, loaded the bar to their body weight, and they got hurt, right? But they didn't listen to Coach Sommer properly, because he said, you will start light, let's say with 2 kilos, right? And I like what he says, strength and mobility over time. So this is what we do with Strongfirst Resilient. There are no world hockey deadlift or Jefferson curl championships, right? So you start with the lightweight and you build your strength and mobility over time. So this is basically loaded mobility type of training, loaded stretching, strength stretching as well.
And this is in my head, this is why people go down the gym and they've got decent technique and they lift heavy weights. It's at home where they hurt themselves when they pick something light up and it
Yes.
moves in a different way. So it's
Yes.
it's kind of making your body resilient against surprises, I suppose, isn't it? In when you're doing
again,
things
unpredictable situations. Funny story. Some of my first kettlebell students were the regular fitness guys, and they were scheduled for a private lesson, and one didn't came because he was stepping out of car and he got injured. Right?
Yeah.
Doing just the machine type of training. Our regular kettlebell training or barbell, dumbbell training is already type of resilience training. That's why I really like kettlebells and why the old-time strongmen really love kettlebells. If you do, let's say, weight ladder, just clean and press with 16, 24, 32, the angle is always a bit different, right? So you are building resilience in different angles. Not that much difference. It might be what we need to have. It's about 10, 15 degrees of flexibility reserve, right? In those angles. So if you train with the kettlebells, you are already doing pretty good. If you have a let's say specialized variety, that's where the dumbbell projects comes in. You may do your cleans and presses with kettlebells, then you grab dumbbells. It's similar, but still different, right? You load it differently. Different stabilizers will fire, and again, you will get stronger and you will get more resilient.
This is, yeah. And would you say, is there a degree? I don't know. I don't want to oversell it, as it were, but by training everything perfectly or as near to perfectly as you can with strict technique and strict parameters, by doing this kind of Strongfirst resilient training, there's obviously a resilience building benefit. There's a injury prevention benefit. Is there also a performance? Could there also be a performance and strength benefit from doing some of this because you are kind of strengthening maybe smaller supportive sort of structures and musculature and things like that? Would doing this actually potentially make you stronger in your conventional lifts as well? Is that something, or not so much?
I would say so. I would add to it that it will help you if your regular lift goes out of the groove a bit. Yeah, you will be still able to safely finish your lift. So let's say you are doing a heavy deadlift or heavy bench press or military press, and we know Professor Stuart McGill, he calls it steering strength. Right, so it will improve your steering strength. It will develop what Marty Gallagher called in-between strength. Right, so definitely for the lifting, but more importantly for life and for other sports. So if your sport is not perfectly symmetrical lifting in your greenhouse, right? Then you need to do at least some type of that training. So that's, for example, it originally comes from the practice of the East European weightlifters. So let's say they snatched the barbell overhead, and then they were moving into that position in the deep squat with the barbell overhead to visit different angles and to get stronger. Because if you observe, let's say, Olympic weightlifting, we see mainly the videos where everything goes perfect and it's just beautiful to watch, right? But how many micro managements in those movements are, we have no idea. So this will help with any type of sport performance. So for the main strength training, which was your question, yes, it will strengthen, it will plug the holes in the armor. It will, like I said, develop the in-between strength. It will help with your main lift getting a bit out of the groove, so stay with it and finish it safely, and it will have a transfer to other sports and other activities.
Excellent. No, this is great. And then you touched on the Friday before the weekend. So I think it's the Friday kind of afternoon, the Imperial Program minimum that you're going to be doing, which is on Friday, the 20th of March at the same venue at Unique Results again. That is a half day workshop, is it, that you'll be doing then?
Yes. Uh, I'll just add something really quickly. It
Yep.
applies to the dumbbell that we are talking about, Strongfirst Resilient or the Imperial Program Minimum. I never come up with a product. I'm always looking for solution for a problem that I have. So let's say dumbbells, that was traveling, right? Resilience, that was my combat arts training. And same goes for Imperial Program Minimum. Pavel's first book, the original program minimum was snatch and bench press, right? And this was actually something that attracted me right away when I saw the bench press. I got the book, I flipped to the last page to see the most advanced drill, right? The bench press and two hands anyhow. And I said, oh, I want to learn this, right? So throughout the years, I've done very, very extensive research on the bench press. Me being a light guy, I'm around 70 kilos. To press a beast with a military press overhead, it's a challenge. I can't do it yet, maybe one day, but I can bench press it any single day. So this is a type of lift that allows anybody to lift with one hand weight that many people can't lift with two hands, right? Truly, sky is the limit. So I fell in love with the bench press. It had and it still has a bad rap of being like advanced lift and not for everybody, and not everybody can learn it, and you need very specific type of mobility, shoulder and T-spine and whatnot. I don't think so. I think with a proper progression, anybody can learn the bench press, which was called back in the old days the king of all lifts. So that's why the program is called Imperial Program Minimum. We have kings, so we have czars, right? In Russia, the czar of kettlebell lifting is the kettlebell snatch, and bench press is the king. So this is our imperium of strength. So I did very extensive research on the bench press and develop very specific progression where anybody can learn the bench press that suits his or her body type. This is the thing, right? First of all, you need to find a version and variation that suits your body type, which means what's your stance? Everybody will have different stance, and I have drills to cover that, to find your stance, where the feet should point, how wide, and so on and so forth. What to do with the free hand, because you see people just let it dangle or lean on the non-lifting hand on the corresponding side, or to cross over. But people don't know why this or that version. And again, I have drills that will show you, oh, this is the way for you, which is the safest, strongest, and allows you to get into that position. We have seen people doing kind of what's usually called windmill or squat style, right? But not many people understand to what part of the lift does it apply. It doesn't apply to the way down most of the time. It applies to the way up, right? So anybody can learn it. And just yesterday, one lady from SFG2 I just taught in France posted a video. She did her first bench press with 32 kilos, right? It would be very challenging for her to press it with a military press. She's fairly strong, but still a long way to I mean, how many gents can press 32, right? Strictly. But she did a beautiful bench press after 2 hours of coaching at SFG level 2. We have ladies doing bench presses with 40 kilo, 44, 48 kilos. So this is really cool because you can lift heavy one arm. So that's the bench press part, the king of all lifts. The snatch part, we love kettlebell snatches in the kettlebell community, in our School of Strength, Strongfirst. When I did a survey of my vast collection of books, old-time strongman manuals, I have noticed that one version of the snatch was particularly very popular back in the old days, and it was called swing. Back in the old days, it was very similar to the dumbbell swing that we covered at the Enter the Dumbbell workshop, and that I'll cover in the Enter the Dumbbell online workshop and online course. And it's, to avoid the long name, it's basically swing to overhead split snatch and done only half snatch. I call it the imperial snatch. So basically you do a very specific type of pre-swing and then snatch overhead, stepping forward with the corresponding leg to get under the weight, and then just drop it to the rack, to the floor, and do it in basically weight lifting type of protocol, usually doubles, singles, and you go heavy. And I wrote a couple of versions of the programs, and I'm very happy with the last version of the programs. I'm just doing it myself currently for a couple of months. Of course, my goal is bodyweight bench press. If the fortune allows, I've done already 56 kilo at bodyweight, 68 kilos. And I'm pretty comfortably that after a couple of cycles I'll do 60 kilos and get closer to my bodyweight bench press. So the Tsar and the King, imperial snatch, and the king of all lifts, the bench press. That will be our other item on the menu when I come over to your awesome gym, James.
Excellent. And do people to attend that workshop, they can attend that one on its own as a standalone on the Friday, or
Yes.
they can attend Resilient on the Saturday or the Sunday, or they can attend all 3 days. It depends on what they want to do.
And again, the entry demands, let's say, for the imperial program minimum. If you know how to clean and press a kettlebell, then you are ready to join the workshop. So clean and press, it's all I need for you to know, and you'll be able to learn the bench press and the imperial snatch. And you can come to IPM or Resilient or both events. More time, and more jokes with this guy.
Excellent. I was going to say, because people don't need to worry, because if you don't know how to do a bench press, that's the whole point of going. You don't need to know how to do it before you go, because that is a very different kind of lift. But no, that's absolutely brilliant. That's going to be great. So just to reiterate and remind, that's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, the 20th, the 21st, and the 22nd of March, 2026, at Unique Results in Chelmsford with Pavel Macek and your wife as well. You said is going to be over as well.
Christina is coming over as well to assist me and teach segments of the workshops. She is awesome. She is one of the Sinister. She has done officially the Sinister challenge at bodyweight. I believe was like 56 or 58 kilos or something like that. Very, very impressive. So she is, a beautiful looking lady, but very, very strong with great technique. So I'm looking forward that we'll teach together. So ladies will have also some role models that we need. And I would emphasize again, guys, listening to the podcast, watching to the podcast. Even if you don't come to my workshops, come to James' gym. He has really beautiful facility, all the equipment that you need, great branding. I really like the community aspect that I saw in your gym, James. All the pictures and I could really feel that you have built up something there. I truly believe that this is something that I enjoy in strength training or in teaching in general. I can lift on my own. I can, just teach. But I love the group. I love teaching workshops. I love teaching classes. I love the community. Supporting each other, celebrating the results together, and it may be the first push-up or bodyweight bench press. It doesn't matter, right? But better is better. So
Excellent.
even if we don't see each other, guys, you need to see James.
Thank you so much. And I think Sue will be back. Sue Bell, who's currently working on her one arm press up still, but she will be there, I'm sure,
Awesome,
next
awesome.
March. And I think I'm going to need to recertify my SFG1 when you're there as well.
Oh,
So
nice.
I need
Match
to
test. Yoo-hoo.
I need to get that done. So if you want to go to pavelmacek.com, so it's at pavelmacek.com on Instagram. You can click on the link tree there, and there's sign up information for the Strongfirst Resilient. Or if you go to Unique Results Instagram, there's sign up, or the Health Oddity Instagram even. There's sign up information for Strongfirst Resilient on there. Where do people go to sign up for the Imperial Program Minimum? Is that on your one as well, or is that something different?
Strong first grade, Britain.
Okay.
I'll check my socials and my website if I have the link. I believe I do. If not, I'll put
Yeah.
it there as well. But Claire Booth, I have to thank her for her trust and for inviting me over to UK already on multiple times, and I'll be coming again. I believe for SFG2 next year as well in UK. So Strong First UK or Strong First GB, Strong First Great Britain, and you will see all the workshops there. If not, just contact Strong First GB at Instagram or on Facebook.
Excellent. And about the Enter the Dumbbell online course, as we record, it's not out, but it will be out
Mhm.
around the time that this comes out. Is that just you go to Strong First to get that? Or
Strongfirst.com. Yes.
yeah,
Yeah,
Strong First.
strongfirst.com. There will be a series of articles and some sample videos, and then in the online section courses, or that I believe it's strongfirst.skilltrain.com. But if you check out the Strongfirst social media, Strongfirst website, there will be multiple links to the Enter the Dumbbell, or just type Enter the Dumbbell into the Google and you will find the cars.
Excellent. It's easy to find if you want to. That's Pavel. Thank you so much for taking the time again to catch up with us. I know you're going to go off and teach soon near to your home. So yeah, thank you again for all the wisdom, all the knowledge around the meditation, the stoicism, just the mental resilience, obviously, as well as the physical resilience and the physical training, because obviously it all kind of intertwines and weaves together, doesn't it? But yeah, that was great. I'm sure we will have you back on the podcast again, and we will be spending time with you, obviously, next March in the UK at Strong First Resilient and at the Imperial Program Minimum as well. So thank you so much.
Great to see you, Pete. Great to see you, James. Thank you for the opportunity to share my 2 cents with your audience. I'm a huge fan of your podcast, so please keep up doing great work, and I'm looking forward to see you very soon, James.
Excellent. Thank you so much. And thank you, everybody, for watching or listening. Please do like, share, subscribe, leave a review if you're watching or listening on a platform that allows you to do so, especially Apple Podcasts. If you're on Spotify, give us a 5-star review on there. And if you haven't already, subscribe to us on YouTube. We will be back next week for episode 277, which will be the 19th of December. So it will be the first of our 2 Christmas episodes, which Peter's smiling. He's got some kind of jumper lined up, I think, this year. And we will be joined next week by Emma Brennan, who is based in Belfast in Northern Ireland, who is a gym owner, a power lifter, and also a sports therapist as well, who recently I met out in Iceland, who was the kind of physiotherapist, sports therapist for all of the strongmen out at the Magnus Classic out in Iceland. So Emma will be with us next week for the first of 2 Christmas specials, and then we'll be back on Boxing Day as well. But yeah, thank you so much, Pavel.
Thank you, gentlemen. See you next time.
Thank you, Pete.
You're welcome.
Brilliant. We'll see you next week. Until then, bye-bye.
You've been listening to Health Odyssey with Peter Lant and James St. Pierre. To get your regular fix of hype-free health, you can subscribe and leave a review wherever you get your favorite podcasts. You can find out more on today's and other topics at healthodyssey.com or find us on Facebook or Instagram by searching for Health Odyssey.